So in this video I want to talk about the map design in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, whether it's good, bad, and out of the four maps that we've seen from, the streams, from the videos, from everybody talk about, everybody playing the game that it's at Gamescom. I want to talk a little bit about it. I want to talk about whether it's good or bad. As I said, you guys can let me know your thoughts, opinions down in the comment section below. The four maps, I'm going to run through them all, kind of describe them all to you so you guys get familiar if you've seen the videos or streams or anything that's been released about Advanced Warfare. Maybe the trailer as well, that leaks a lot of it as well. So the first map I'm actually going to discuss is Biolab. Out of the four maps, Biolab is the snow map. It has got a lot of height advantage areas where you can get onto some high positions, and it's kind of like an inside building, and then around the edges all outside. And if you get to a high position on top of a building, you can see pretty much the entire outside, which this map doesn't look too big. The biggest out of the three is not this one. This is, I'd say, about medium. I'd say it's definitely not the biggest map. There's not too many big maps. As I said, we've only seen four, and there's only one that looks to me that it's quite big, but nowhere near the size of Siege or Stonehaven or anything like that, so thank God. But Biolab, it just looks pretty cool, just looks like an ordinary map. If I were to compare it to Titanfall, nowhere near the amount of size, but it does have those advantageous positions where if you get up high, you can really dominate the opposition once they get into certain areas on the map. Such as this one, when you're on top of a building, you can see the entire outside. So if there's enemies outside, it's pretty easy to get, and that's kind of the map it is. The next map I'm going to talk about is Riot, which is the prison map, where it's prison, and then you can also get outside in the, I guess, out of the fence area, stuff like that. And that map movement looks to be a very key element in doing well in that map, because there's not too many really high positions, but if you're good at using the dash and your jetpack and moving and getting onto one thing and jumping, making sure there's enough to get to the other thing, I think movement can become a really clever aspect with that map, getting around the map really well. And that's why I personally think I did quite successful at Titanfall, just because of the movement and the key and everything I was doing, jumping in certain situations, if you jump off this and through that. And I think Riot's going to be one of those maps. If you guys have played Titanfall, you know what I'm talking about. You definitely will get an advantage if you're really good with the movement on that map, and that's kind of a key thing with that, in my opinion. And the third map I'm going to talk about is Ascend. This is the auto turret map, where there's a lot of auto turrets, and that I'm not a huge fan of, but maybe they're not very good, and you can't control them, they're not that powerful, and they're just kind of there. I'm hoping that's the case, because this is the biggest map we've seen, actually, and if that is the biggest map in the whole game, I am 100% sold. I am very happy. But another thing, the 3-lane system is a thing that they're using on this map. I'm really happy with the 3-lane systems. On this one especially, there's kind of the left and the right, the two outer edge of the lanes, the left and the right lanes. They're very open and long lanes, and the middle one's kind of a squiggly line with loads of buildings in, and that could really work well for CTF after looking over it a few times. So that map, I'm really looking forward to, actually. If that's the biggest map, it's not the size of Stonehaven Siege, as I said, but if that's the limit for the size of the maps, I'm so happy. But yeah, a CTF map, also turrets, I hope they're not a big deal. I really do hope so, because dynamic maps, not my favourite thing. And the last map I'm going to talk about, the fourth map, is going to be Defender. This is the San Francisco map, which is the, the Golden Gate Bridge and, everything like that, with the tsunami that comes in, the wave. And watching videos and everything, the wave only really affects that one portion of the map, and all you need to do is jump up, elevate, get into a higher position, on these rocks or buildings or whatever you're near. It only gets really on that kind of, the little edge bit, and you just jump above and you get on a higher position and you're fine. It doesn't really affect too much. Dynamic maps, I'm not a huge fan of. I don't mind the doors opening and all that stuff on, Ghosts. But when they really do make a difference, you have no control. With some of the DLC maps on Ghost where they kill you if you're outside, or Ghost Pirates come and kill you randomly. Not a fan of that, not a fan of the tsunami, but as we've seen, it's not really affecting much of the map at all. And it's not a huge map or anything like that. The outside, it's mostly outside with a few buildings as well. But as we've seen, the tsunami doesn't really affect too much of the map, so I can't complain too much.